everyone, I'm Samiksha and the topic that we are discussing today from the non-verbal reasoning section is paper folding and paper cutting. Now, what is this chapter? It's a very interesting one. I personally love this chapter. Now, basically in this chapter, we will be seeing two types of question. One is question based on paper folding, where you will fold a paper and there has to be certain pattern on your transparent paper, and when you fold them over to either of the sides, whichever is mentioned in the question, it's gonna form a pattern, and from the option you have to identify which option pattern has to be formed. The second type of question is question of paper folding and cutting. So first of all, it would be a plain sheet of paper which you are going to fold according to the pattern that they have given. Then you'll cut out or you'll cut certain pattern on that folded paper, and then when you open that paper up, how would the open paper pattern would look like are the questions that you will expect in paper folding and cutting. Remember, you have at least one question coming up on this in your design exams. So make sure you get this right, because this is a point where, it's a topic where you can score more rather than if you are not somebody who is good in maths, then you could score marks in your design paper based on this and get maximum marks in your GAT section. Alright, so without wasting time, let's start initially. So first, let's see a question as to how we can do a question of paper folding. So what does it say? In the following problem, a square transparent sheet with a pattern is given. Figure out from among the four alternatives as how the pattern would appear when the transparent sheet is folded along the dotted lines. So we see this dotted line here, right? So we have to fold the paper. Now in which direction it has to be folded, left to right or right to left? It will depend upon how the answer figure is generated. So you see, in the answer figure, the dotted section is on the right hand side. So how is the paper folded? It's been folded from right to left. So if I fold this pattern from right to left, how it is going to form? So one thing I know, both the arrows, whether the top arrows or the bottom arrows, do you see they are equidistant from the dotted line, right? So when I'm going to overlap them, they'll fall onto one another. So definitely, if they are going to fall on one another, the image that is going to form will have only two dots or two intersecting, some version of two overlapping arrows. So definitely option A or option B or option D cannot be my answer, because you see the number of arcs or the number of arrows that they have shown, there are so many. That's not possible. So what is the only option possible? The only option possible is D. This is how you could go look at the question. Or if you had something similar to option C again available, then you'll have to think of how would the arrows look like when they are overlapping each other. So basically these arrows are like triangular structures, isn't it? So this is my first structure and the second structure is going to lie upon it. So it's actually going to give you something like a rhombus. So if I just redraw it properly here, it's gonna look like this. Okay, this would be the structure where two arrows which overlapped over each other, they look like this, as if like a rhombus. So again, if I just reconnect it with the options that I have, I see that option C is the right one. Idea clear, everyone? So this is how you have to visualize for paper folding. Now let's visualize a question for folding and cutting. How is it done? So what does the question say? In the following questions, a set of three figures X, Y and Z have been given, showing a sequence in which the paper is folded. So first they are telling you the paper is folded in the sequence X, Y and Z. And finally cut from a particular section. So particular cut is being placed on the paper. These figures are followed by a set of answer figures showing the design when the paper actually acquires when it is unfolded. You need to select the answer figure which is closest to the unfolded piece of paper. Alright, so first the folding is performed. Now you don't have to visualize how the folding is going to look like, because it's already been given. We have given the cut, now I have to unfold it. Now one point to note in such questions is, if I'm going to unfold this pattern, now currently the pattern is just, the squares in one section. In some sections it could be like, you have a cut like along the edge. So you have to properly visualize. If there is a cut along the edge, then what would happen? That semicircular cut will look like a circle when it is open. You getting my point? So accordingly, question to question, your visualization is going to change. So you'll have to accordingly plan and get your answer right. Okay, so for this question, the basic step for a paper folding and cutting question could be, in whatever way they have folded, these were the steps, right? X, Y and Z. Now we'll have to open it. So we have to go in the reverse order, that is Z, Y and X when we are opening. Alright, so from Z to Y when I'm going, you see from Y to Z when it was going, that folded from top to bottom. So now if I'm opening, I'll open it from bottom to top. And this pattern, first of all, will get copied here, right? I'll have these two squares here. And the same would be printed on the top. So this square, just like a water image. So they'll get interpreted this way. Idea clear? And now we'll have to go from Y to X. So Y to X, how was the paper closed? It was closed from right to left. So now I have to visualize from left to right. That means the same design, I'll just have to copy it down on the right hand side. So if I copy it down on the right hand side, these will be the center squares and each square along the corner of the larger square that is there. So this is the pattern that I'm getting. Now match it with the options that is there. A option is gone, B option is gone, and so is option C. The only option that fits is option D. Idea clear, everyone? So this is paper folding and cutting. I hope you have got the idea. Now let's try to implement it with some questions. Here we go. So the first type. So what are these questions? In each of the following question, a figure marked at transparent sheet is followed by 4 answer figures. One out of this resembles a figure which is obtained by folding the transparent sheet along the dotted line. So these are questions of paper folding only. So first we have to check how the paper is folded. So if you can see in the answer figures, the left version is dotted. That means how are the figure folded? It's folded from left to right. Now if I visualize when two triangles are going to get overlapped onto one another, how would they look like? If you can visualize this, you are done. So if two triangles, they are similar triangles, isn't it? That means they are facing in the same direction. So when I'm going to fold this over, it will fall onto the other side, and actually the structure that it will form would be like this. That means it will form a star when two triangles are overlapping, a straight triangle and an inverted triangle. So where do you see that star structure? I can actually see it in option B. I can even see it in option D. C and A are not possible. They are impossible. Now among B and D, which star is correct? Now check, when I am folding them one over the other, what would happen? These cutouts, these cuts, these borders, they are going to fall upon one another. So obviously option B cannot be. Option D has to be my answer. This is one. And second, if you see the level at which the triangles are placed, they are in the upper half of the paper. So, and this triangle, the B option that we have, the star structure that they have given, it's at the mid-level. That is not possible, and in terms of size also it seems to be bigger, and that is why you can eliminate B and then go with option D. Idea clear? Let's try one more. Now again, in the second question that is there, how is the paper folded? The dotted line is on the right hand side. So the paper is folded from right to left. Now right to left, when I am folding, obviously these lines, when this line that you see for the circle, it will get imprinted on the left hand side. If you see in option A and option B, that line is not present at all. So obviously they are gone. As well as in option A, you don't have this loop, correct? The top loop, it should come onto the left topmost corner. That's not there, and that is why I'll have to eliminate option A. Now among C and D, the matter is very close. You have to observe carefully. Now what do you have to observe? Let me just clear this figure so it becomes easy for us to visualize. Check. Now what observation I'm asking is, when you fold this over, okay, you'll fold it from this line, isn't it? From this place, you're going to fold it over. So this vertical line, that is a slopy line that is there, it's going to come somewhere like this. And what is the catch? Is this folded thing, the point where both the lines are joining, is it exactly at the center? No, it's in the second half. See in option C, this fold is exactly in the center. That's not possible. And that's why I can eliminate option C and pick option D as my answer. Okay, and there is one more point. When this section is getting folded, this line won't be on the upper half of the circle. It would be on the left hand side. That means I'm talking about this line. This line is not possible here. It has to be like, when you fold, it would be something like this. So that should be the orientation, and that's how we can come to option D as our answer. Idea clear? So this is our questions with paper folding. Now let's try folding, cutting and opening that paper. Alright, so what does the question say? A type 2. A piece of paper is folded and a cut is made as shown below. From the given responses, indicate how will it appear when you are opening it. So now, what is our job? So basically for paper folding and cutting, these are the steps, right? The steps given were 1, 2, 3 and step number 4. So while opening, we'll have to go in the reverse order. 4, 3, 2, 1. So from 4, if I go to 3, the folding was from top to bottom. So we'll go in the reverse way, from bottom to top. So if I open this over, there would be this L-like structure here. And when I open it, it's actually going to get connected. And you'll have two inverted L's facing each other. Right? Now from 3 to 2. 3 to 2, the fold 2 to 3 was bottom to top. Now it should be top to bottom. So these L-like structures which are there, the two that I had in the bottom, if I draw, the same are going to get reflected on the top as well. So something like this would be the figure that you will get, isn't it? And now from 2 to 1, so 1 to 2 was left to right, now right to left. Just open them over. So these same patterns I'll have on the right hand side. So structure like this, and this guy if I open, it's a L here and this L would come to this side. And now check which option is clearer. A option is wrong, D option is also wrong. In C, I do see those two L-like structures, but do you see their orientation is different? So C option cannot be. So my correct answer should be option B. Did you get the idea? So you have to carefully open up the figures and mark your answer. There we go. Here's our next type, and this is the last one. It says, in each of the following question, a sheet, square, circle, triangle of paper is folded and punch is made. When unfolded, the paper sheet looks like the question figure. Now what is the change? So far, we had the steps given. Cut were made, we used to visualize, open it up and then match it with the pattern, right? Now the pattern is given, and out of the option cutouts, which cutout will form this pattern is what you have to find. Okay, now how to go with this question? The one best way that you could do is, I know in all of the options there's a small square formed at the right hand section, right? That means whatever pattern is on the right side of this paper should be the one actually be present in as your cutout. Only then it will get reflected everywhere, isn't it? So just with this much assumption, if I just check my option, which is the option possible? Only option E is possible, other options do not. Because either ways B option has 1, C option has 2 and D option has 3 squares which are not in perfect alignment with the question figure. So all the rest eliminated, you come to your option A. Got the hint? Try to apply the same with the next question. In the next question, all I am going to compare is what? In all the figures, they are comparing is the leftmost square. Now in the leftmost square, check the pattern of dots and try to match it with the options available. Which option matches? Option C matches the pattern. So obviously this should be the answer. Got the idea, everyone? So this completes our chapter of paper folding and cutting. It's a very interesting chapter, note, okay? And there has been a history of very interesting questions coming up from this chapter in your exam question paper of UCEED and CEED. So make sure after you're done practicing all the questions from your textbook, you do check out those questions from your past year papers. They're very interesting and you will see how practically these concepts are being applied in exam. So with that, let's close this topic off. I hope you have understood. Thank you.